I call my mother as a wonderful teacher yet a sweet liar. Yes. Now, if you look sometimes, and who is the first person who puts a fear in you? Is our mother. And who is our first teacher? Is our mother. And who is our first liar? Is our mother. But why do they do it? Because they want us to get better in what we do. Now, there is one interesting story I would like to also add a little bit later. Now, the first introduction of a boogeyman in the dark is always by a mother. Why? Because there are certain things that infuses us to, because when you are a kid, you pretty much don't know where is the length and what is the limit. And unfortunately, fortunately, mother draws a certain line for us. Otherwise, it could go in a catastrophe ways. Like, for example, you can go and touch a fire, you can go and touch electricity. And there are many dangers also within our house. Those things we cannot experience to see how it feels like, because that's the end basically. So that's why there are certain fear is infused in our lives from the beginning. And that's why we say don't do this, don't do that, don't touch here, don't touch there, because we know what all the repercussions. And it's not that the parents are watched by kids like 24/7 straight away focusly. So because there are the limitations also they need to know. So that's why they introduce a fear a little bit. And same thing, you being so naughty and you're not sleeping. So we say, okay, boogeyman behind the curtain and boogeyman behind under the things. When we had kids, 5 years ago, this is what we introduced to them. The boogeyman. My wife always said that Babaroga. My kids still call the moment we say Babaroga, they run, because I think sometimes it is necessary, but at the same time, not to fear them, but there are some controlling measures we need to do. And when I say as a sweet liar, they tell a lot of lies to us. There's a the song about the moon. Just my mother is just calling me a moon just so that I can eat. So it's like you go to the sleep, the moon is coming to you. Many things. There is a one interesting story which I read a couple of days back is about Thomas Edison when he was a kid. Pretty much I think he didn't have a clarity initially, I believe. Management team of the school wrote a letter, and then they asked that give it to your mother, and then whereas which is written that your son is mentally ill and then we cannot keep him moving forward in our school. And then the moment when she looked at the letter and then she started crying, and then the moment her son asked her why she is crying, she said they wrote that you're very genius, and that school is not sufficient enough for his genius mentality, so that they're asking me to teach you every day in our home. Now imagine instantly that she pretty much lied, right? But imagine if the same thing she would have read to Thomas Edison, what would be the impact that she would have left in his heart at the very young age, where and we all know what Thomas Edison was able to do it. And then it's a nice the letter that he figured it out while he was checking the old things in a later stages, and then he wrote back something very interesting that mentally ill person was a gift given by my mother so to the world, so that he invented the bulb. So there are many things that we can connect, and that's why they are sweet liars. They, so that they want you to see, to grow. And then they are our first teachers, and mother does a big role in our life, and they does impact a lot. And I'm sure that everybody knows that bottom of their heart they want to see their kids grow and do better in what they do in every life. It doesn't matter how much failure you are to yourself, but for your parents, you are still a king. And sometimes it goes to extremes that we as a parents needs to draw a line, to make sure that when we are here, and you make sure that your kids on their own feet able to lead their life, and that is what you should be able to leave when you leave this place. That is something that people do think that go to extremes, that then the pamper kids so much that they become basically useless. That's not the way a parent should do, by the way. And coming back to the point of, so mother is a great teacher. She's a sweet liar. At the same time, she takes care of us. And then like for example, if my wife asks her son, Lucas, who did this mess? So I don't know. So that's the first lie he says, bluntly. So he's also learning the lies. I know there is nobody came, but then that's how they also pick up. And but to make fun and to get that kind of stage of life is different than when you grow up and then having things that you wanted to see. So I always say that mother is our best teacher, first teacher, sweet liar who introduced all the fear for our good. Now, what can we do? How can we apply the similar things in our professional life? Simple things. There are many things that we see that people need a lot of improvement. You know, we don't get a perfect apples the moment you go to work. If you're a manager, if you're a leader, if you're an executive member, you're not going to find all 10 the best people to work with. There are people in a different stages of learning, different stages of experience, etc., etc. But sometimes, even though you see that the 100% perfection is not coming, but you need to lie. Sometimes you need to say, hey, you know what, you're doing a great job. That's a good one, but you can do a little bit better. Not instantly, but then, giving that little bit boost. And sometimes it doesn't cost you much, but you never know what kind of impact that you are leaving on that person for years to come. So the sweet lies are really good sometimes. Otherwise, we wouldn't see Thomas Edison inventing a light bulb. And the same way, whichever the position you might be having, you might be holding today, can be of a great help, support. The one word can change. You never know what kind of impact you're going to leave with the simple, small words. Don't expect that, you're going to find the 10 perfect apples for you to work. As I said, we are finding different people in different stages, and sometimes even though they're not meeting up to the perfect expectations, you still can boost their morale high with a little lies, sure. But then whenever the time comes, you have a conversation and said, that's where you need to improve, but then you're really doing a great job, or doing a perfect, and you're doing a great job. So these are the things that we can learn from our mother, and then we can apply that in our life for people to get better. I'm sure at some point of time you're going to lead some organizations. Even if you're a self-employed, if you're a businessman, you need to have your employees to work for you. And sometimes simple, small, encouraging words can take them a long way. It's not about your life, it's about how you are giving those positive impact for the world around you, for the other people to do better in what they do. Stay well, stay blessed. Our mother is a sweet liar. Our mother is our best teacher, and there are many things that we can learn from her, because that is essential at their stage, and this is essential at your stage and wherever you are doing, to encourage the people around you to do better in what they do. And even though, closing, not, I wouldn't say closing your eyes, but taking yourself, I said, there is a little bit of improvement, but they still can do better. So, but then instant feedback on that positivity makes all the difference. Stay well, stay blessed. Be good to good, influence the people around you. If you like this content, do like and subscribe and share with your friends and families. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And once again, and see you soon.